Yo, peace. Today I'm gonna speak on the dark arts, black magic, in the new year. Y'all know I had to get at y'all before the new year came in. I ain't been around in a minute, but I'm back now, so fuck it. Now the first thing is the dark arts. The dark arts can take the form of persuasion, manipulation, primitive desires, taboos, forbidden sciences, etc., etc. Now, to properly analyze the dark arts, we have to look at it with an open mind. It's not for us to cast judgment. It's not for us to say who's right or wrong. Leave that to the masses. We are the initiated. If you listening to this shit, you the initiated. If you on this level, then you should understand what the fuck I'm talking about at this point. I done dropped enough knowledge on y'all, so let's keep going. Now, even if you never dabble in the dark arts a day in your life, you should at least have knowledge of it to defend yourself against somebody who may try to manipulate you, or somebody who may persuade you to cross over to whatever they're doing. So this is all it is. It's just educational. If you want to use it, it's going to be on you. If you don't want to use it and you want to close your mind, perfectly fine. It's up to you. At the end of the day, it's necessary. Let's just say if you're in a position where you may have lost your income, you're in a position where you can't really take care of yourself, you can't do for yourself properly for a short amount of time. It shouldn't be that long. You may have to steal some food. You may have to manipulate a woman. You may have to manipulate a man just to get back on your feet. So it's not for us to pass judgment. If you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. The first law is self-preservation. You have to make sure that you can take care of yourself. Now, you can say, well, why don't you just get a job? It's not that simple. Everybody's not built to work in that field, just like everybody's not built to be in the field of dark magic. You get what I'm saying? So this is just for those who are brave enough and who are courageous enough to accept reality for how it is. It just is what it is. I don't give a fuck how anybody feels about it. This is just life. Now, at the end of the day, we are part of a royal family. If you into this science, if you're into Hermeticism, Sufism, Gnosticism, Kabbalah, etc., etc., you're looking at the deeper sciences of life. You're looking at life from an esoteric point of view. You look at the Bible deeper than what the church may teach you. You look at the Quran deeper than what the Magick may teach you. You get what I'm saying, etc., etc. So we can look at hip-hop as black culture or as original culture, because when we look into hip-hop, everything is in there. Pimping, prostitution, sex, drugs, etc., etc. We can look at these things as negative if we want to, or we can look at it as neutral. It just depends on where your mind is. You can look at the game bakers, the drug dealers, the pimps, prostitutes, the gamblers. We can look at these people as a part of the underworld. Now, however you view the underworld is on you. Nonetheless, it exists. Now, when you think about the underworld, you can say that's a part of life where you communicate with spirits, a higher power, whatever you want to call it. You get what I'm saying? You can call these people shamans, mediums, empaths, prophets, people who have access to the underworld and who get revelations that they otherwise would not have received under normal circumstances. You get what I'm saying? Anybody who has ever did cannabis, LSD, mushrooms, DMT, anybody who's ever experimented with psychedelics know that these are not normal experiences that you just have on your own. You have to do some extreme fasting to get psychedelic experience if you don't want to take the drugs. So it ain't all about taking drugs if you don't want to. You just have to really be on your spirituality. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the dark arts, just for clarity, is something that's necessary when the time is right. Because you don't want to become one of these people who lose their mind and who have a lack of self-control. These are like the corrupt cops who are here to serve humanity but end up exploiting humanity because of the lack of self-control, because they end up falling victim to greed, gluttony, lust, etc., etc., etc. Now let's enter into black magic. The realm of black magic may deal with witchcraft, necromancy, sorcery. You get what I'm saying? Things of this nature. And Anybody who says people who dabble in black magic are trying to cause harm to other people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because it ain't all about causing harm. Anybody who wants to cause harm, you're only going to end up hurting yourself. So I'm warning you right now, don't use these sciences to try to harm anybody. Use this to elevate your own spirituality. You get what I'm saying? You want to get into witchcraft to get deeper into your spirituality. You want to communicate with the dead. You want to communicate with spirits. You want to be able to take control of people's minds, not in a negative way, but a positive way. If you can influence people in a positive manner, you can say that's still manipulation. It's not going to tear them down. It's going to build them up. You get what I'm saying? We just have to look at it for what it is. So whether you're talking about dark magic, black magic, the dark arts, these are necessary parts of life if you ever want to get to a place that's influential. You think the pastor, the preacher, the politician, you think these people are not using these sciences? They born into it. If you're born into a royal family, you are taught this from birth. You think they taught the same thing that the masses are taught? The masses are made to be sheep to follow the people who are in control. The people who are in control have to learn how to be in control of a large amount of people, for better or for worse. It's not about whether they're doing good or bad. This is what it is. You are born into things like that, or you choose to become that or live that way of life if that is your choice. You get what I'm saying? So now let's enter into the new year. The new year, the number 9, 2 plus 1 plus 6, 2016, they equal up to 9. 9 is the highest vibration. It's a vibration of love. It's a vibration of that universal energy, that collective consciousness, that community, that sexual alchemical energy. You get what I'm saying? We can say the 9 represents Neptune. Neptune represents the planet that rules Pisces. Pisces could represent the fish. The fish represents the sacrifice. The Jesus is self-sacrifice, to give yourself to the underworld, to give yourself to the other world. Because when we're looking at dark magic, it's about putting your life on the line. It's about you using yourself as the sacrifice, as the scapegoat. You become the scapegoat. You're not looking for nobody else. You're not trying to sacrifice animals, people, none of that. You sacrificing yourself, and you learning from your own personal experience. You inject yourself into the underworld and live it, to gain the experiences of the underworld, to master the dark. Just like you become a light worker if you choose to master the light. But we're not limited to the light, we're not limited to the dark. We have access to both sides of the realms. It's not about good, bad, right or wrong. I'm gonna keep saying this shit. It's about whatever you feel in your heart. Everybody can't be everything. The pimp is necessary. The prostitute is necessary. The gambler is necessary. All these contract killers and all these underworld people are necessary. The underworld is necessary, just like the light side is necessary. You have to have people on both sides to balance life. It's the law of polarity, one of the 7 universal laws. You get what I'm saying? That law exists for a reason. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep going with this shit, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, I've been gone 2 months. I've been taking a break, you know what I mean? I had to really put my words to action. I don't want to just be speaking about this shit and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So I'm like, alright, if I'm telling people to be God, if I'm saying I'm God, if I claim all this shit, I should be able to survive in any circumstance. Just like I talked about in my last video, Mastery. You should be able to survive any situation you're in. So I'm like, alright, let me live on the streets for a little bit. So I chose to live on the streets for a little bit to see my own strength, to test my own courage, to test my own bravery. I had conversations with killers. I had conversations with drug dealers, prostitutes, anybody that represent the underworld. I had to meet these people for myself. I had to go into that and experience that for myself and gain my own experiences. I don't want to be a person that's just reading books. I don't want to be a person that's just spitting shit, don't know what the fuck they talking about. You get what I'm saying? We got to keep this shit real. And if we keeping that shit real, like, yo, you got to be about whatever you claim to be. You can't say you God, but you represent the devil. You get what I'm saying? Even though God and devil are one, if you God, you got to come out the underworld. You get what I'm saying? You can't say you God but never had any experience with the underworld, because God represents all realms. God is everything. God is not just the light side. See, the new age, you know, the current, the shit is watered down and softened, because if we talk about real spirituality, we talking about real power, that's in the underworld. You know what I mean? These underground cats, There's people that's into this shit have power. On the light side, power. You get what I'm saying? So we can't get caught up in what the masses are doing. We can't get caught up with the soft shit. We gotta be willing to deal with the hard shit. We gotta be able to make those hard decisions. We gotta be those people who represent those who have mastered both the light and the dark. Because if you don't have mastery of the light and dark, you can't really speak on this certain. You can't speak on certain shit. You never sold drugs in your life. You ain't never pimped. You can't speak on certain shit, and you can't cast judgment about something you never did. Only something you observed in a movie, or you may seen it on the street. If you never had a conversation with somebody and asked them, well, what led you to this? What's going on here? You know what I mean? You have to get personal experience. We can't cast judgment from afar, but scared to touch it. It takes courage. You know what I mean? Without courage, you ain't gonna go nowhere. It don't matter what the fuck you wanna do. You get what I'm saying? You can't talk about positive thinking, but you got no business sense. You got to understand that the people that make it somewhere in life, you got to be able to master all this shit. You get what I'm saying? The difference between a good salesman and a bad salesman is a good salesman wants to be a good salesman. A bad salesman just look at everything as a job. You can be that person that look at shit like a job. Or I go to work 9 to 5, I come home, I do whatever. The good salesman works 24/7. You get what I'm saying? Even when he's asleep, he's awake in his dreams. You get what I'm saying? It's something that you don't ever sleep. Because if you listen to hip hop, you're going to hear it all the time. No sleep, or you only take naps, because you are always conscious. You don't just let your mind go to sleep. You never let your mind sleep. You always want to be dreaming. You always want to be awake. You want to be lucid in your dreams. You want to be able to take your problems in the dream world and be able to solve them when you wake up. You don't want to just go to sleep and wake up with the same shit on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? I just had to go out into the world and really experience it firsthand and really just see if what I'm saying and what I'm presenting to the people, does it hold up in real life? You get what I'm saying? I done read plenty of books, but if it don't apply in the streets, it's useless. If it's not practical, it's useless. We have to apply this knowledge. I can speak all day. I can give as much knowledge as I want to, but if it's not coming from a place of personal experience, it's dead. You know what I mean? Dead knowledge ain't doing shit for nobody. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Asharenu. Get at me. Peace. Yo, I'm right back at you motherfuckers. I realize I got more shit to talk about, so let's go in. So what we gotta realize is we have to become obsessed with our spirituality. We can't take this shit for a joke. We have to become so engaged in what we're doing to the point of obsession. It really has to fully consume you. Because if this lifestyle don't fully consume you, you can't say that you take it seriously. You have to go hard the same way you go hard with whatever you care about. You go hard with being a father. You go hard with your lifestyle. You go hard with making your money. You got to go hard with this lifestyle. And to go hard with this lifestyle, you got to be about this shit every second of every day. It has to consume you to the point of no return. It ain't no going backwards. It's only forward. If you ain't totally consumed with this shit to the point where this is all you care about, this is all you think about, and nothing else will do, nothing else will matter. You want to do hip hop, you want to be an artist, you want to really live the lifestyle of a god, a goddess, whatever you want to call it. You have to be totally obsessed to the point of no motherfucking return. And to do this, you have to take a risk. You have to prove to yourself that you are really about this shit. So you have to take a risk. Whatever risk that may be is up to you, but you have to literally go out and you have to test yourself and test your faith. You get what I'm saying? It's something that has to be built. It's not something that's just going to be there automatically. You got to build this shit up from scratch. You get what I'm saying? Don't bring all that old religious shit into this shit. This is a new lifestyle. This is a new way of life. It's from the old days, but it's a new way of life for us because we are reborn. Christmas represents the birth of a new son, the birth of a new man, the birth of a new woman. You are not the same person you was before Christmas. When the sun starts to rise again after Christmas, This is the birth of a new sun because it's about to enter into a new year. You get what I'm saying? We are not the same motherfuckers from 2014. We ain't gonna be the same motherfuckers from 2015. We about to enter into this new generation. We about to enter into this new shit. You get what I'm saying? It's people being born every day. It's people that's dying every day. You get what I'm saying? We only got one shot at this shit in this body, in this lifestyle. I don't think none of you want to come back to Earth and have to do this shit again. We want to move on to the next dimension. And that's why it's important that you turn the fuck up. Whatever turn up means to you, with you going hard with your music, you going hard with whatever the fuck you drugged out and shit, not drugged out to the point of a drug fiend, but drugged out where you want to go into the underworld and channel that energy back into your music, or you want to channel that energy back into whatever lifestyle you want. You got to go in with this shit. There is no turning back from this shit. You get what I'm saying? We have to go beyond the facts. We have to go beyond half truth. Every truth is a half truth. You got to go beyond the facts. Facts can't define you. We create the facts. The facts don't create us. We create facts. We can't look out into the world and try to define ourselves. We only are defined by what we feel is already within us. This is why you have to master your craft. Whatever your craft is, whatever your skill set is, you have to be a master at that shit. And the only way you're gonna master your craft is you have to dedicate all your attention into this shit. This can't be no half-ass shit. You get what I'm saying? It's just really about living this life to the fullest. You don't want to half-ass. If you half-ass, you're gonna get half results. If you live to the fullest, you're gonna get the fullest results. It's just that fucking simple. The lifestyle of an artist. An artist creates art. Whatever your art is, whatever your self-expression is, we are here to express ourselves. That's the only thing we have to give to the world is our own self-expression. If we ain't giving ourselves our own self-expression in the purest form, then we just holding back from the world and we're not giving what we have to give. This is why a lot of us, if we feel dead inside, it's because we're not fully expressing our full truth. You got to be fully immersed with this shit. We have to understand that this is a new century. This is the 21st century. It's been the 21st century since the year 2000. See, what we have to realize is we entered into a new century after the year 2000. It wasn't just 1999 and 2000. It's the same shit. We went from the 20th century to the 21st century, meaning from 1900 to 2000. That was the 20th century. The 21st century is 100 years. So when we enter into a new century, the whole energy changes. If anybody was alive back in 2000, which most people was, if you listening to this shit, most of you, some wasn't, whatever. But you noticed the change from the year 1999 to the year 2000. You noticed the change. You get what I'm saying? See, at the end of the day, don't let nobody tell you about why shit happened and no. This is a whole new century. Everything changed. We went into a whole different energy. This is just some brand new energy. We are the first to experience this energy. Everybody that comes after us is gonna come after us. But those who are here now, we here now, and we are here to bring in a new energy. That's why a lot of parents don't understand their kids and all that shit, because we are a brand new species. The kids that's being born nowadays, they got way more energy. They way more smarter. You know what I mean? They on some different shit. They turn the fuck up. And if you have kids, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Last thing I want to talk about is our relationship with money. If you talking about you broke, you ain't never got money, fuck all that shit. You rich. If you can't say you rich, you ain't gonna ever be rich. You have to be rich in mind. You have to be rich in spirit. You don't ever say you broke, you ain't got it. No, fuck that. If you got money in your pocket, you good, because you can always create more. We have to change our relationship to money. We gotta be like, yeah, I'm a fucking wealthy motherfucker. And you gotta mean that shit with every bone in your motherfucking body. You gotta really see that shit in your heart. We can't be like, oh, I'm gonna be rich in the future. No, the future is never gonna come if you ain't feeling that shit right now. If you ain't feeling wealthy, then the fucking future you ain't gonna feel wealthy either. Everything is created in the motherfucking present. So we gotta feel wealthy in the motherfucking present. The only thing that matters is your inner reality. Fuck the outside. If you are rich within, you are gonna be rich outside. It's all about the inner reality. It's the self-talk. What are you talking to yourself about? We all have these inner conversations that nobody else hears. That inner conversation defines us, because that inner conversation is our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is linked to our solar plexus. The solar plexus is a self-talk. the self-talk, the inner conversation. It represents Mars. Your courage, your bravery. That's why I was speaking about this shit earlier. It's all connected. So if you ain't feeling yourself within, then the outside's only gonna reflect what we feeling within. So make sure we ain't hating on ourselves. We gotta love ourselves. You get what I'm saying? So that's all the fuck I gotta say for right now. Happy New Year, everybody. Praises to the 2016. Everybody in the future, turn the fuck up. Peace. Hotep. Hotep. Hotep.